Okay. I have a water. It's my pleasure to introduce the Rugby World Cup 2019 champions, South Africa. To my left, their captain, Siya Kolisi, and to his left, coach, Rassie Erasmus. And if I could take the first question, please. Okay, the first question. Right here. Thank you.
Rassie, you were the first team to arrive in Japan, and now it seems like you're the last team to leave, and you've got the golden trophy in front of you. What does this moment mean to you?
No, for us as a South African team, we decided long before the Rugby Championships already, we're going to, I wouldn't call it sacrifice, but we decided that we have to be 20 weeks together if we want to have a chance of winning it, just because we're so far behind the other teams in terms of building a squad to be competitive at the World Cup. So we didn't see it as a sacrifice, we saw it as a massive honour to try and win it for South Africa. And now this is week 19, and week 20 was always the trophy tour in South Africa, and that will be next week. So we're very proud of making it. We know there was a lot of luck involved during the way getting here, but we're so proud, not just because we won the trophy, but because we're South Africans, and a lot of people thought we'd never make it, and we just believe South Africans never give up, and that makes us really proud.
Next question here.
Siya, can you just tell us a little bit about the emotion that you felt lifting that cup, and what you said at halftime as well? There was still a very narrow margin in it to stay composed for another 40 minutes.
I honestly can't explain how I was feeling at that time, but to see the joy in my teammates' faces, that was the best thing, I think, for me, because I know how hard it worked and how hard the coaches have worked, and we're really just grateful, you know. But the way we played, we wanted to say thank you to our coach, who's came in and just changed a lot, and on the way that we saw rugby as well. And I'm really grateful we could do this for him and the coaching staff and everybody in the management. So I didn't hear the second question.
What did you say at halftime?
Oh no, we knew what we needed to do. Coach kept it nice and simple. He just said keep on being physical and keep on going flat out on the scrums, and you know that's why he went for a 6-2 split. You know, we lost one or two guys at the beginning of the game, but we still had to keep on going because it was working for us. Not much was needed to say, just fix little small things.
Yeah.
Siya, congratulations. How much does this mean to you for you to win the trophy in your 50th game, and also to have your dad here and to win it for the rest of the country?
It's really, I think Coach said it earlier, how proud we are as South Africans, and we know how many people didn't give us a chance, but we had to believe in each other as a team and the people around and the plan. And, you know, he kept on telling us how good we are. But, you know, and he drove us to work hard, and he drove us to places we haven't been before. And, yeah, it was special for all of us. And I've never seen such support from our people back at home. And I honestly don't think we could have done it without them, you know. And, you know, everywhere we saw these videos, people sending videos, people coming together. It was really beautiful for us to see. And yeah, it was awesome to have my dad here. Really grateful that I could share this moment with him. It means a lot to him and my best friend, obviously, for me. And yeah, it's just an absolutely amazing day for all of us. I can't say any more than that.
Thank you, Siya. Here.
A question for Rassie, please. Rassie, you did an incredible job on the England scrum, which was clearly a crucial part of the game. Can you tell us the story of that? Had you expected or in any way to be so successful in that part of the game? Had you
planned for that specifically? Had you seen that as a specific English weakness, or was that just a very good part of the game for you?
Yeah, look, the one thing I definitely don't want to do here is try and sound very clever afterwards, because I know that just pisses a lot of people off when you sit here afterwards and you're being clever about the things you planned beforehand. I just think it's a spin-off of the way we've played the previous 5 games with a 6-2 split as well. You keep your type 5 fresh, and especially in a 6-day turnaround. You know, the props we've played, you know, the front rowers and the hookers, none of them, they've all had more or less the same amount of minutes. And if you compare that to the amount of minutes, for example, Sinclair, well, they didn't have a lot today, but Sinclair and their props had. They had heavy loads in terms of playing 60, 70 minutes, where our guys were substituted 40 minutes, 50 minutes. And if you take that over a period of a World Cup of 6-7 weeks, then eventually in a semi-final, quarter-final, final, that pretty much at the end of the day will take its toll. So as I tried to explain during the previous press conferences, we thought it was also a bit of part of player management, which I think benefited us a little bit fatigued-wise against the opposition at scrum time, because I don't think Coles is a bad scrummager or any of them are bad scrummagers. I just thought our guys were maybe a little bit fresher, both packs, first and second half.
Thanks. 2 questions there. One, then the next.
Rassie, well done. We have a habit of winning the World Cup every 12 years, and you're a young coach, and you're still in the job or running the team now for the next 4 years. We don't have to wait 12 years for the next World Cup, do we? I mean, you're going to challenge again and soon.
No, Gavin. Our big thing is it's when I took over 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, it was 618 days till the World Cup, and we planned to the World Cup to try and win the World Cup. I think it's now 614 days to the British and Irish Lions, and we'll start planning now for the British and Irish Lions, because that's in next. Obviously, we've got the Rugby Championships next year and the normal Super Rugby and all the normal local competitions, but I think it's 614 days or close to that before the British and Irish Lions, land in South Africa. So we'll start planning for that now. The big thing for us is what we are trying to do is to be consistent now. I think what Eddie's done with England, when they won 23 out of 24 games, they were starting to be consistent, and what Warren did with Wales for being consistent. So the thing that we were terrible at in 2018 was we were up and down. This year, we played 12 games and we lost 1, so we're getting that consistency back. And yes, we've got the World Cup here, but going into next year, you wouldn't lose the first Test match again. People forget about the World Cup. So we want to go and get consistency now and work towards the British and Irish Lions and next World Cup and so on. So hopefully we can get that right.
Siya, a few years ago, South Africa were way down the rankings and they suffered a few heavy defeats. Can you just talk a bit about what Rassie's done for you, your teammates, to turn this around to this level?
I think the first meeting we had it was in Joburg. It was just straightforward, and he told us exactly what we were doing as players. We were getting a lot of money, and we were just doing all the things off the field, posting, trying to inspire people by not playing rugby well. We didn't make rugby the main thing, and he he told us straight, like, it has to change. The shift has to come. Rugby is more important. The Springboks are more important than our personal goals. And as soon as the team does well, because there's so many people who spend their last salary to come and watch us play, and they want to see us give our best on and off the field. And that was the change of mindset. And we started working hard, and I think a lot of us got off social media just to make sure, we put our heart and soul on and off the field, and we challenge each other. And I think the most important thing that he brought in was honesty. He was always honest with all of us, announces the team, and he told no one-on-ones. It's just us as a team, which was really amazing. So you always knew where you stood, and you knew where the other guy was. So it was really special, and we're really grateful that he did it this way. It was tough at the beginning, but we got used to it. And yeah, and we have so many rugby players in South Africa, and they also told us that we can move from union to union. But now all we wanted to do is just work hard and give everything you can, you know, and that's what we did.
Yeah, a question for both Siya and Rassie. Siya, how conscious were you that this game was you were playing for your teammates, but also for your country, in the sense of the potential impact of you captaining the Springboks to win the World Cup? How conscious were you of that? And just, Rassie, related to that, how did you handle that? You know, that trying to maybe diffuse the pressure created by that.
Can I go?
Yes, Coach.
No, we were quite honest about that with one another, and we actually took perfect examples about that, and we were being really honest about that, because for us as a group, that was my first World Cup as a coach, so certainly expectations. I think actually the first All Black game was a great test run for us in terms of handling pressure. We were terrible in that week, the way we were tense and talking about things, and we were just terrible. The whole week was a terrible build-up for that pool game, and then that actually taught us a lot about how we handled the quarter-final, semi-final, final, and so on. But overall, we started talking about what is pressure, and in South Africa, pressure is not having a job. Pressure is one of your close relatives being murdered. In South Africa, there's a lot of problems, which is pressure, and we started talking about things like that. And rugby shouldn't be something that creates pressure on you. Rugby should be something that creates hope. So we started talking about things that we've got a privilege of giving people hope, not a burden of giving people hope. But hope is not talking about hope and saying you got hope and tweet a beautiful tweet and things like that. Hope is when you play well and people watch the game on a Saturday and they have a nice braai, well, barbecue for people who doesn't know braai is, and have a nice barbecue and watch the game and feel good afterwards. And you know, no matter of your political differences or religious differences or whatever, for those 80 minutes you agree with a lot of things that you normally disagree. And we just start believing in that and saying, but that's not our responsibility, that's our privilege to try and fix those things. And the moment you see it in that way, you know, it becomes a hell of a privilege and you start working towards that. And I think that was the way we tackled this whole World Cup campaign. I hope that answers your question.
I can't add anymore. It summed it up.
Yeah.
Rassie, how much did that win in Wellington mean for the Boks in the bigger picture?
Hendrik, to be honest with you, I was really... we had a lot of small targets where we tried to simulate big games because we were only going to be together for 18 test matches before we organized the Japanese test match or the Japan test match. We were only going to be together for 18 test matches before we got to the World Cup. So we had short-term targets like the Wellington test match. We said that's like for us for a quarter-final. If we don't win that one, so we built it up towards that one and said, you know, let's role play that as being a quarter-final. But then prior to that, we lost to Australia and Argentina, and I clearly can remember I even said, listen, if we don't win that one, I'm definitely willing to resign because, you know, I've never in my coaching career lost 3 games in a row at any level. So I thought, hell, if I'm as a Springbok coach loses 3 games in a row, I don't think I deserve to be being a Springbok coach. So, you know, we had a great chat about the players, and I said, yes, guys, if I am preaching that we must be consistent and give people hope by the way we're playing, and I'm coaching, but we're losing to Argentina and Australia, and now we're going on a trot, losing 3 in a row, then I'm out of here. And we had that honest chat, and then the boys went and beat New Zealand in Wellington. So it was pretty important. Otherwise, I wouldn't have sit here. You know, so it was a pretty important one for us to get that positive vibe under supporters. Us got ourselves believed back again. And then obviously the next year repeating it by a draw certainly gave us a lot of belief that we can consistently compete with number 1, 2, and number 3 in the world.
Okay, we're going there, and then here.
Rassie, how do you best describe the man sitting beside you?
Sorry, where are you? We had a good chat today. Yesterday when he did the jersey presentation and he had his 50th Test match running out in front. It's easy to talk about going through hard times and struggling to get opportunities what other people do, but I think it's tough to tell people that, listen, there were days where I didn't have food. There was days where I didn't have a lift to go to school, or I couldn't go to school, or I didn't have shoes to wear. And the moment you hear that a lot, you almost get used to that. As a teammate or a rugby supporter or anybody, or maybe you guys sitting here, maybe you hear that a lot. But when you sit down and you think about it clearly and you say, okay, but there was a stage when Siya went through stuff like that where he actually didn't physically have food or didn't have shoes to wear or couldn't get to school. And then you think, here he sits as a captain and he led South Africa to hold this cup. I think that should sum up what Siya is.
Thank you, Rassie. It's the last two questions there, and final one here. Thanks.
シアさんにお願いします。東京中日大友と言います。優勝おめでとうございます。ラグビーワールドカップでプールマッチで一つでも負けたチームが優勝したのは今回のボックスが初めてです。本当に苦しい中から勝ち上がってきたと思いますが、このストーリーはシアさんがここまで来るのに辿ってきた道と重なって見えます。この初めて負けを経験してチャンピオンになったということの感想を聞かせてください。
No, I never thought about it that way. But obviously, we knew every game was really going to be tough in the World Cup. And Coach Rassie prepared us, and he said it might not go the way that we wanted to go. But remember, he says nothing great was achieved, in easy conditions. And when we were prepared to do anything, and when we lost that game against New Zealand, we knew we had to do things that we've never done before, but in saying that we had to do what we do better, and that's what we focused on. And he kept on telling us we can do it each and every single time. He kept us positive, and I think us as a team as well started believing into one another. And yeah, we're really grateful that we could do it, and it just shows once we all buy into a plan. And we can just do it. Yeah, sorry.
Final question here. Thanks.
Siya, you mentioned your dad earlier and how special it was to have him here. What was the kind of conversation afterwards, and why was it so special? And secondly, as a child growing up, did you always believe that this kind of thing was possible?
The conversation with my dad. Oh, he was just happy. He didn't have much words. He just hugged me and he kissed me, and he was with the kids. So it was really amazing, and he was with the rest of the team, But no, he's much older than the players, but a lot of these guys are his heroes, And he knows me and Eben have been best friends since we were 18 years old, So this kind of friendship, know how much this means to us, and I'm so grateful that I could bring him here. And the last question. As a child growing up, did you always believe that this kind of thing would be? No. It was like Coach said earlier. I really didn't think so. But obviously, as soon as I got my opportunity to go to a Model C school, and I was training and playing rugby each and every single day. My dad played and his grandfather played, so rugby wasn't a new thing for me. So it's always been in my family. And when I got my opportunity at Grey, and I just gave it my best shot. And when I got 16 years old, that's when I thought, okay, maybe I can make it out of this. And Coach Rassie luckily spotted me when I was 18 years old, and he brought me to the Stormers. And yeah, been working hard since then.
Thank you very much, Rassie. Siya, congratulations, South Africa, world champions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.